YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Buddha back in the building with no face cam. This is one of my first videos like that, but you can see on the screen we have footage of your boy Buddha's first experience playing Gate of Nightmares. In fact, I'm playing it some more while I am recording this, and I must say, this game is incredible. I absolutely cannot wait for the official release. You better believe your boy Buddha is going to be playing the JP version. Even if a global version never comes out, I'm telling you, this is an experience. It's a great gacha game. The way that they've kind of set things up is unique. Similar to other games that I think we love certain mechanics from, but the feel of this game is unique. I can't quite relate it to anything in specific. I just wanted to go over my first 5 hours of gameplay while I did experience the beta version and give my thoughts kind of starting. As I was playing, I started jotting down notes. So a lot of it is very limited in what I can understand. A lot of these thoughts are coming from what I can literally see, control, and feel from the game. Not so much read, because a lot of these mechanics I'm trying to figure out just based off playing. No luck in regards to exact clarification, but I still think this should be a pretty enjoyable video for you. The game itself is absolutely beautiful. As you can see on the screen, just the graphics themselves. Granted, I am rocking an iPhone 12 Pro, so I've got a pretty strong device. Even for being as early in development as this game is, it still seems to be performing wonderfully. I mean, this is the first time they've put the game out into public hands, and I gotta say, it has not disappointed your boy at all, one bit. The combat I want to jump into immediately after, because I mean, that's half of the fun of any gacha game. You know, it's not your typical turn-based RPG, but I must say it's also not as intensive as a game like My Hero Academia, or like a Genshin Impact if you're trying to play that on mobile. The design of it is very fluid. It's a bit different, right? Especially like the lock-on feature, I notice. The lock-on feature kind of just settles itself on whichever unit you're looking at, or whichever unit is the closest in your line of sight is where the target marker is going to fall. And to my understanding, you can't necessarily control it at will, right? You can't focus an enemy and then tab, target lock, switch, and do things that we're normally used to in action RPGs like this. But I gotta say, it totally works with the mobile platform, in my opinion. The camera is fixed at an angle, as you can see, which, again, I personally like. With mobile, you don't want too much control just because of the limitations that a flat screen and just your finger sliding across a flat surface limit you by. So I must say that with just kind of this analog stick, the pace of the game, your attack button, and the couple extra things that you can do, it just feels really good for a mobile style game in this kind of format, and I think they really nailed the job. Great system, great combat system I feel like Square Enix has come up with, along with a beautiful game. And to top it all off, in my opinion, it's great for auto, the way that they have it set up. Usually these games come with a nightmarish kind of auto feature that just feels so bad to watch because your character is popping extremely inefficient things at the wrong time. In this case, your character will target the nearest enemy, auto attack until you want them to do something, and it gives you kind of this semi-auto feature to work with. I will say, if you're trying to move the character while they're in auto, it doesn't work so well. So if you want to take them from one spot and move them to a different location, I would suggest taking it off auto to do that. But otherwise, from my experience in the first 5 hours, running it on auto doesn't seem to be too much of an issue, even in the harder story stages, except for some cases where there are standout bosses. Then you really want to take control of your characters and make sure to dodge at the right time, get at the right spot when you see certain attacks about to pop off. But for the most part, I think this game is going to do just fine playing mostly in auto, which again is huge for a mobile game, because part of the appeal for me is that for mobile games you can play them in a bit of an idle setting when you're doing your grinding, or maybe just some easy clears, working your way through story while you're doing something else. And then when it gets a little more sweaty, you got to pick up the phone and focus, and it adds that actual gaming experience to it. But for the most part, I think a lot of us enjoy our idle experience in our mobile games. And I feel like the way this combat setup, since there's so little to actually focus on, the AI doesn't have to work so hard to not look like a complete dunce is playing the game. This game, it does offer a layer of complexity when you want to, but you don't necessarily have to have the AI perform perfectly to be clearing your stages and getting through your material grinds, level grinding, stuff like that. And it is just fun to watch the way that the combos flow. Each character has their own unique combat. 4-set combo, I believe, is what each character has, and it all just flows so nicely. Once you get the feel for your character, you really know how long it's going to take for them to pop off a certain animation before you can dodge, or know when to get out of the way when a mob is launching a certain attack. And it just does feel very nice, very rewarding to watch and also play. So moving on to something that's not quite as joyous to talk about. This is a gacha game. It has a stamina system. You start out with 30 points of stamina, and those points do increase depending on your account level. Currently, I've got 37, all the way stocked up. In the beta, it's nice because they just recharge your stamina for free, so we get infinite playtime, so I am going to miss that when it is no longer a thing. But from what I'm seeing, I mean, these stages especially, it's extremely grind intensive. There are a lot of different stages that you need to do, a lot of different grinding for certain aspects of the game, character awakening enhancements, monster or nightmare awakening enhancements, a lot of different grinds when it comes to your progression in the game. So I am worried, especially after what we saw with My Hero Academia, that the company, whoever would take it into a global market, fingers crossed, I hope they don't just paywall the crap out of the stamina refresh system, because I imagine this game's stamina is going to drain pretty quickly. I mean, just playing in 5 hours, I burned through a ton of bars. I know it's reset on my account a ton of times, and there's still so much I can grind out. So I hope they don't limit themselves and dig themselves into too deep of a hole with this system, but it doesn't seem totally unreasonable with the stamina cost per stage versus the amount that it seems we're going to be able to accumulate up. So that's kind of something we'll have to see. The marketing structure, of course, that's going to vary per region. JP is typically much more generous with the way they handle their pay structure versus a more global market. So again, something I'm worried about, but we can't really understand what it's going to be like until it hits the market officially, because we're getting spoiled as beta testers right now with infinite refreshes. And then going back kind of to combat slash the play style of this game, it also has that type of feature where you have your characters of a certain element and you got a game of rock, paper, scissors going on. Red beats green, green beats blue, blue beats red. And so far, all we've seen are 3 elemental types. So pretty simple to start out with. Usually, even with other gacha games, you get at least 5 typings off the bat. So this one kind of dumbs it down even further. We're only working with 3. So literally a game of rock, paper, scissors here. But I still see that as a positive because it's easy to understand. Like I said, a 4-set hit combo that they cycle through, and it just kind of flows nicely. Each character has a very unique set to themselves. Some attack faster, some are a bit slower to hit, but it seems like they can pack more of a punch with each hit. So it's definitely interesting to take each character into battle, feel them out, see what they're looking like, what it feels like when you're actually in the enemy's face and maybe they're coming at you. Your character might be stuck in a longer animation, so you can't quite dodge out of the way quickly, which is not fun, but it makes you really pay attention to how each unit is individual and in what scenarios they are going to help out a lot. And then finally, I just wanted to mention it, but I don't have too good of a grasp on it yet, is the currency, which is the other half, right? The first half of what we enjoy in gachas is the combat. The second half, or it's probably the first half, is how you actually get the units. All of us with our gambling addictions, we like our gacha system, the actual hero collecting portion of it. How do you get that currency to summon on your banners? To my understanding, it's the same as every other gacha. You do missions, you complete your story, you're gonna get login bonuses, the whole 9 yards. And the grinding currency that you seem to be able to get are these ruby-like gems. The red ones are what I have grinded up. It does cost 3,000 for a 10 spin. I imagine that means that the single spin is 300. Which is funny because I'm very accustomed to that playing the other game I main on the channel, which is Last Claudia. But that might put some people off. It all just depends on how easily you can actually farm up, how generous they are with this kind of currency. There also seems to be this rainbow gem icon that I imagine is the currency that you can purchase directly with whatever country's currency you have. But there is no conversion like in Genshin Impact where you farm up Prima Gems and then you purchase the summoning currency. None of that. It seems like the stuff that you grind up is the stuff that you summon with. Keeps it simple, keeps it easy, and again, just the rate at which you can acquire this currency will determine how tragic or not bad 3,000 per 10 spin is. Like I said, I'm pretty accustomed to it, but that seems to be the deal there. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up the first impressions video here. There are a ton of other videos I want to cover just to be able to post throughout my time playing this, because we do have a limited amount of time before all the progress we make in this go around is lost, and then we have to cross our fingers, hope for the next beta. Hopefully we can get into that one if it is a closed beta or an invitation only beta like this one, or hopefully the next one will be open and that much closer to release. I gotta say, in regards to bugs, I maybe have felt a couple things that are a bit clunky, a couple things that didn't load so quickly. But again, I'm in the US playing probably on, you know, pinging from the US over to JP, so that may be my fault. But in regards to combat, I haven't experienced anything too crazy, which is just incredible. I experienced this thing to be lagging like crazy, choppy like crazy, but that has not been the case at all. It's been extremely fun. I'm very sad that I'm not going to be able to keep this account, but it's super worth it. It's just a fun game to play, so I'm going to be looking forward to it anytime it rolls around until it actually drops officially. And I hope you guys are excited too. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very excited to include Gated Nightmares on this channel and see just what we can find, see what information I can get out to you guys, and hopefully get you all hyped up for this game, because as far as I can see, it's definitely deserved of the hype. Square Enix working with Hiro Mashima, the creator of Fairy Tail, it's paying off. Game's beautiful, it's playing wonderfully, and I'm enjoying it so much. I hope you enjoyed the visuals. I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's all I got for you this time. So, until the next one, work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.